Hello, everyone. Hi. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Foundation FM, for inviting us, and happy birthday to the Tate Modern. Whoop, whoop. We're Worms, for those of us who don't know us. We're a magazine, we're a publishing house, we have a podcast, we run workshops, we do events like these, and at the core of our mission is always to platform underrepresented voices in literature. We love freaky writing, we love experimental writing, we love writing that's outside of the bounds of the normal. So the lineup today, I hope, represents that a little bit. The event is called Literary People. And I'm honored to present the readers today. So we're gonna have myself, I'm Arcadia Molinas. Hello. We're gonna have Summer Moraess after, followed by Phoenix Yemi, our beautiful P. Eldridge, Fariha Ro, and James Messiah will be closing everything. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna do a poem for you guys. Let's do it. My mind has come off its hinges. It's popped open like a treasure chest. It's tinkling in the gold-laden light, yellow like a New York tulip. It may sound scary, but a mind unhinged lets the excess, the useless out, and the road less traveled seems to glint with a new edge. Love and fuck who you want, and then write poetry. Snake jaw unlocked, swallowing a bunny whole. Wild geese honk, and this bacon butty I bought in the countryside cost me £2.50. I was meant to be a modern girl, but I could have lived this life. I could have lived this life. I could have this life. I could have lived it. But I was meant to be this. It all hinges on going outside sometimes. So go like your life depends on it. Walk, make love, then write a poem. There's no woman like the present, and she is a poem, a poem, a poem. Morning coffee, neighbors mowing the lawn. I sit, and I'm not smoking anymore. So I suck on my blueberry-scented vape and sit and wait for my mind to pop or IDK come up with something, make constellations, spider webs, connect the dot, revelation, inspiration. The present is a poem, is a problem, is paradise, is a parasite, is a parasite, is paradise, is problem, is a poem. Late night bourbon swaying home like a buck of wheat, door creaking extra loud in the middle of the night. Sit erect in my chair and wait. Suck on my vape. Divination, inspiration, revelation, possession, take me. Maybe I'm better off being misunderstood or obtuse on purpose. After all, it's a power, it's a power, it's a poem. Wild geese honk, but I was meant to be a true modern girl. Unhinge my mind, snake bunny. Love my friends to putty. Think in the present, write poetry. Being misunderstood or obtuse on purpose is a power, is a power, is a poem. In The God of Small Things, Arundhati Roy wrote about the love laws. The idea that there are laws like invisible fish lines in the dark that nip your flesh cut into your sinew that tell you who you can love and how much. And when one type of love becomes another type of love. And lately, I am wondering who made these laws and why. I want to live on the edge and walk barefoot across the blade of a knife. Come blood, come or tears, I'll lap it all up because such is life, oh life. I want to be a true modern girl, unhinged mind, snake bunny, love my friends to putty, think in the present, write poetry. Make money, gold twinkling in the sun-laden light, blow it all on cigarettes, too broke to smoke anyway, paste posters around town, learn graphic design, dance until my bones crack, stitch them back together into new shapes. I want to be a true modern girl. Serve coffee, make love, write poetry, take a picture. To write is to be alive. And all my life, I've been searching for a million ways to say, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. To write and to be alive. To be alive, alive, alive. To write and to be alive. To love someone, to love someone. To write and to be alive. To be alive, alive, alive. To write and to be alive. To love someone, to love someone? Thank you. Okay. Summer, where are you? Let's give it up for Summer, everyone.
I'm just going to play this little Celia just behind me while I tell you guys 2 stories that happened to me, okay? Okay, first story. I once met a man who was made of vegan meat. His skin looked almost ghostly. I thought maybe he was born and raised on the moon. He was hot. He was so hot. A bizarre beauty that made my heart pound out of my chest. But he's not human. He's some Frankenstein creation made from vegan meat, pieced together in a forgotten factory in North Yorkshire. He told me as we vegged out in his warm cave in the woods. I have a secret to tell you, he whispered. Sweat patches spreading under his pits, but curiously enough, there was no trace of body odor, just the faint smell of pan-fried mushrooms lingering in the air. I've witnessed strange things before. Milk pouring from the sky, Basquiat rising from the dead, goats dancing under a tree in the dark, trees turning into metal, tentacles growing out of my cousin's shoulders. I've even read 121 Days of Sodom for a laugh. But nothing, not even the most fucked up shit, could prepare me for this. I'm made of vegan meat, he said, clasping my arms like a climbing plant. I have no real flesh, bones or guts, just a weird mix of soft grains and soybeans. Grinning, he pulls a bottle opener from his Heaven by Marc Jacobs coat pocket and twists it into his ear hole with a grotesque violent motion as if uncorking a bottle of wine. There's now a gaping hole where his ear used to be, but not a single drop of blood. Just a milky, creamy fluid pouring out of the side of his head, like the liquid residue of tofu. The ear was devoured in eerie silence, his white bone teeth sinking into its mushy flesh, chewing slowly, savouring the fact that his very existence had conjured this plant-based, protein-packed masterpiece, as if God himself had decided to create a perfect creature from the finest plant matter as a wild-hearted love declaration to veganism. I found my gaze drifting downward in some quiet curiosity, wondering about what lay beneath. A chill ran down my spine as the air flew in and out of the room. He released a gut-driven then unbuttoned his jeans, revealing a small tuft of Spanish moss peeking out of his crotch. It's a great source of protein, he said, cutting into his cock with a sparkling knife. The blade sliced through it. This is serious. This fucking happened. The blade sliced through it with slow, jagged movements like an axe splitting the finger of a tree. I found it kind of hot, but then I've always been a weirdo. He's a bright red flag flapping in the wind like a worn-out warning, and I'm the kind of twat who wants to wave it without a second thought as if it were the only thing worth reaching for. I've never been good at wanting what I'm supposed to, only what feels like I'm finally living. I want a life that feels like a wild, untamed beast. Go on, taste it, he said, offering me it as though it were a rotting corn cob. I sucked on its moon-coloured head. The long noodles of grass stuck between my teeth, which I pulled free with a flick of my tongue. I wasn't expecting it to taste so good. Was I a cannibal now? Even if I was eating fake flesh made of plants, was it still cannibalism? But then again, who's to judge? We all eat shit that pretends to be something it's not. A bright apple, blue cans of pop, a little lamb. Each one just a fake, false version of what it's supposed to be. You can cook it, grill it, toss it in a salad, he explained, and within seconds the body parts grow back. And it was true. I sopped the cock with bread in a wooden bowl, and just as I finished, his part sprouted back. Abracadabra, moist and plump like pond weeds creeping up from the mud. His manic eyes turned shiny gold, but apart from that, it's as if nothing happened. Fleeting magic. He said he's running a multi-million business, filling jars with chunks of his own meatless flesh down in the basement. He calls it Korn after his favourite band, but when they sued him for 14 million, he just swapped the K for a Q. But it's pronounced the same, he smirked. Korn. Whoa, my tiny little brain was blown by how he outsmarted the system. Every supermarket has it in the health food section, and with each sale, he earns more royalties than most people see in a lifetime. Woo, I was in awe. So I kissed him on the nose and fucked him like an animal. There are things I'd have to take to my grave. This is one of them. And you know what? It's fucking delicious. Except I can't open the bloody box. Okay, I've got another story that happened to me a few years ago. It was mental. My head was a pandemonium of thoughts. Thoughts throwing tantrums at 3 a.m. and slamming doors in my brain's back room. Thoughts yelling at me about how terrible I am, their voices echoing deep in my cortex. They've grown tiny arms and twitchy little legs and stomp through my mind like boots on concrete. It's endless, relentless, and loud enough to drive anyone insane. I was lying in bed like John Everett Malay's Ophelia when I turned on the TV, hoping for porn or a distraction, anything to mute the madhouse of my mind, when an ad came on that changed my life. Have you ever considered putting your thoughts in the microwave? Asked the woman, her brown eyes bright yet empty as if a blessed peace had consumed her. This isn't just any microwave. No, it doesn't cook food, it cooks thoughts. Simply place your head inside, turn it on, and let the thought melt. Slowly, slowly, into a waxy little corpse. And what remains? Stillness, warmth, nirvana. Order your mind-melting microwave today, because your brain deserves a defrost. Just call 000-000-000-000. I sat completely still, staring at the screen, eyes wide, mouth slightly open. Honestly, it sounded fucking brilliant. So I picked up the phone and ordered the microwave. The hum of anticipation buzzed through me as I imagined the thoughts melting away one by one. And damn was I right, best decision I've made in a long time. I've killed 227 thoughts already and it's only been a week. Okay, I'm gonna show you how you do it. Okay, today's thought is I write shitty stories. I press my head to the silver glass and set the timer for 10 minutes. It begins 9:59. I close my eyes and repeat the thought, steady and certain. I write shitty stories. I write shitty stories. I write shitty stories. A soft sizzling starts in my head as the thought turns panicked, wild, slamming into my skull, going, ow, ow, ow. Seems like this bastard is finally dying. Thank God. It rocks its body back and forth. Eyes bubbling out of its socket, legs kicking and kicking and kicking as the numbers count down on the screen. 4, 3, 2, 1, ding! And just like that, the thought bursts out of my mouth, splattering on the floor like a little wax doll. I stare down, delighted, as its face is frozen in a contorted grimace of agony and surrender. I snap its head from its neck and place it on the shelf alongside the other stupid thoughts I've melted down this past week. All crammed together, head by head, in a row. My room feels like a wax museum with these tiny melted things. It's a lovely little collection, but the smell of fear always lingers. Sharp and sickly. But it's worth it, because the creatures in my mind finally shut up. No more fighting, no more screaming, no more crying, just stillness. I let out a long sigh of relief as my pupils widen into perfect tiny peace signs. Holy shit, I'm a genius. How the hell didn't I see this sooner? I leave the house, hovering down the street as the clouds puff out like little Buddhas. La-di-la-di-la. I'm plugged in, aligned, flowing perfectly with the universe. No need to stress. I'm going to earn billions writing strange little stories. God, yes. I get down on my knees and worship the trees. I'm so happy. Woohoo! All thanks to this mind-melting microwave. Thank you. And that's it for my mental stories. See you on the next one.
One more time for Summer Moraess, please. Woo! Okay, can we have Phoenix Yemi up here, please? Give it up for Phoenix, please.
Triptych for the sake of desire, Garden for Lilith, Part 1. And I write desire to explicate the urgency of the fire. I can't love you softly and you kill me softly. The stakes are life and death. To dream only of drowning, not the kind that bloats you, but bodies upon bodies devouring. This want, that want. Baby, let me take refuge in this. Anais Nin writes hunger. The hunger for more and more. Hunger, the great. Hunger, the voracious. Hunger. And I float down into the mouth of her river. My body is full of flowers. Open your mouth and eat. Beyond the horizon is the self I can't escape. She, dangerous, she, monstrous, feminine, wild priestess, Orisha of the wind, and embrace me. This is not rooted in biology, and what I'm telling is the interior, the poetics of the unconscious, and how sometimes wanting is something like a rabid dog, and your core, the center of all creative life in agony. In a dream, my legs are wide open, and he pulls the lever to say, more life and more death. The body, precious, vessel, abject and object, aura of humanity. Decades and decades of violence for those of us who do not pass, do not you, will not enter. As to mean history of enforced numbness, bare life, the body, politic and stripped of all divinity. Open your heart and feel. She, dangerous, and she, monstrous, feminine, wild priestess, Orisha of the wind, and embrace me. And I write desire to explicate the urgency of the fire. I can't love you softly and you kill me softly. The stakes are life and death. And I want to bathe in the red of it, in the moonlight, the soft light, the touching of hands and hands. And listen, the body, its own wolf song and tender harvest of dreams. We lay here naked, rising and falling. Our little birds alight, my love, the grass is always green. Sing sky for me. And I love this earth, I do. And I am her, and she is mine, is me, is her. I love. Part 2. To speak of histories of love and loss, the cruelty of gods and us and us. Alice, Alice, Arachne in the spider web, implicit in the knitting of the wound. To write is to be born again. Go this way. And Alice writes, woman wolf, you lick the moon to let loose the revelation of heart, and that horses have breath. Leonora, your paintings speak to me in song. I fell and was baptized in your thirst. Don't interrupt this dream. tainted love, my little birds want to fly away too. Of muses and men, all my milk teeth are gone. One, that beneath the surface I tremble, and you are stone upon stone, and you are stone upon stone, and I know what I know about Max and the two horses. You dwell in the space of the tower, and I waver between want and distrust. I hitch the hook of this bra to an imagined hour of tenderness. Bark when instead you bite and sigh. I stay though it hurts and pray that your teeth linger. Two horses, steadfast but frozen, solid. You decide, desire and position every wild curl to mimic the fantasy, fountain of youth, fountain of knowledge. And I decided yes, free of muses and men. 4, to rearrange a memory, pretend I didn't write you as God or dream sun in the place of flesh. I on my knees and crawling towards the sweltering heat. It was light and more light, and this room was a house on fire. I know you like it when I hold my head this way. Decide, desire is suffocation. Five, and we yearn to collapse the years. You deny that all your stars sing for me. And at first light, my flowers, you overshadow the spring. You will not take over my dream. I love you and let go of the night. Decide, desire is tongue and song and breath. I am my own muse. 6, she, dangerous, and she, monstrous, feminine, wild priestess, Orisha of the wind, and embrace me. Part 3. The forest is forever because it dies, and so it lives, and so lives, and so lives in everything. Tender is close to bruising. Joan and June and June and Joan sing. The center cannot, will not hold. and yet there is no chance that we will fall apart. There is no chance, there are no parts. That to gratify desire is a feeling that is beyond me and escapes me. I need, mother, I need your blackness now as the May earth needs spring. I need, mother, I need not to pretend that I am without flesh or blood, that I am not I. Mother, you hold me as something without form when every day I am deciding myself a person and not an angel caught in time. Know me, Mother Earth, Mother Dark, Mother Light. I need, Mother, I need sin. And so the forest is forever because it dies and dies, and so lives in everything. Everything tender is close to bruising. And what settles in the silence is the sound of decay. I don't insist upon the rain, but it falls anyway. And I am obsessive in my desire, searching for knights and daggers in the dark, shining armor of numbness. You save me, and I don't have to name the thing that kills. Only bury your body in my body. Baby, let me take refuge in this. And I ache to kiss you, as if to breathe you, as if to be you. The terror in want is this, sing. The center cannot, will not hold, and yet there is no chance that we will fall apart. There is no chance, there are no parts. So let the moonlight break into this body, the bright night, dark priestess of light and silver, teeth running rivers and rivers of light and more light, and we will not fall apart. Feel. Thank you.
Phoenix Yemi, please. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. Fariha, you're next. Warm welcome to Fariha, please.
Thank you, P. This love is not real. I feel like my mother's daughter most when heartbreak happens. As the moonlight cowls the golden peak of its shine cascading down the lonely curve, I cry. My cheekbones high like hers, but hers are better. My mother and her glorious face, I cry steeped in tears, in agony like a lightning strike. It devastates the interior. I feel like a tree that's been struck, scolded black by fire's embrace. It hurts, I beg, bruised, yet I'm pushed further by Saturn's tumult. Circular like hawks, patterned across the sky, I feel that plume of sadness, snuffed out like misery that if we didn't have God, we'd be dead. Who hears the lonely echo of wanting belonging and the ache that comes with it? When someone rejects me, I feel my ancestors shake, memories dualistic in tenor. Motivated by the continuum of time, repeating itself, time knows no time. That child was blown to smithereens before. We've been here before, grandfather time. Surely history is documented fairly. Tell me I'm the love of your life, even if you don't feel it. The heart sinks ache of unmet love. Unknown to many, I linger, wanting curiosity from a lover's embrace. Not someone absent before I begin to enjoy them. Your cruelty left my body parched. This love is not real, Zeba says, clear-eyed on a voice note. The love you want is possible, it's near. She always listens to me weep. She advocates for me like a friend should. This love is real. Children of abuse are hardwired differently, to which I say, duh. When they see that desperate look, eyes blazing, the weed smoke tweaked in between puffs, I cry at my losses. The moment the mask comes off, vulnerability potent, people run with one deadpanned swoop. Not me, not you, not I, not misery. They can't stand the scent of incest. Child sexual abuse so rampant, yet too slimy to comprehend, like cum on the sheets from an elder's mistake. As people around me begin to bear fruit like children, God of fruit, I think to myself, who touched you? Rosy cheeks, who touched you? Freckles and fat thighs, who touched you? Body soft, unbroken, who touched you? Don't let them touch you. I was once unbroken. I remember a time before when I wasn't corrupted with sadness. There was a time when I wasn't blistered by the betrayal of life's unseemly circumstances. Gabor Mate says, a child takes a parent's depression personally. I nod. It feels like deficiency of nutrients in my bones. Does that make sense? I'm so used to being gaslit that by my own logic, I don't make any. Recently, an astrologer told me that Pluto has a massive influence on my moon in Cancer. Fuck my life, I thought, not knowing what it meant, but knowing it had something to do with my intensity of emotions, for how deep I feel, but I'm embarrassed by my vulnerabilities less. Facts are feeling, Yvonne Rainer tells us, and don't I know it? This is why it's important to discern your feelings like fact. To conjure intuition, you must first know it. Nothing is inherent. Everything should be practiced into perfection. There goes my Saturn again. Obsessed with hard work. Sounds like a kink. I'm ungrateful, but I'm still here. Astute, wanting nothing but my devotion to be matched. I used to think I was unlovable. You can't blame a child that's been touched in the wrong ways to herald their own rescue and to believe what has never been shown. Safety is imagined for people like me. I had to find safety in myself. Fearless, now I'm ripened by reality rather than fiction. It's a sick game, the rate we molest children, the rate we kill them too. They say over 20,000 children have died in Gaza. It's May, and I dream of Masab's words. No child should have to beg for life, asking for mercy from people who prolong genocide in order to hide genocide. No child should have to prove their humanity to not be liked, to not be killed. No child should have to beg to be chosen. This is where I am, 3 decades in. I wish I didn't still have to beg to be chosen, but clearly my only choice is to choose myself. I thought being fucked young meant I was chosen, but it just meant I was unstable. By 30, I was celibate, incapable of visualizing anything other than a vault. Protected by myself, I'm open again, and love surrounds me. I keep spinning, but it's true. It hurts less and less. It's surprising how healing curves the sting, how nothing is as brutal as interpretation except for genocide. I said I loved you and I wanted genocide to stop. June's voice rings clearly. Love and abuse cannot coexist, Belle writes. Her calm, smiling face, beautiful and placid. Healing is the way out. It's the way out. It's the way through. And it just gets easier to see where love is infallible, when it is fake, when it is couched up to be love, but it is vengeance, envy, and an unwillingness to change. I'm getting better at knowing when this love is not real. Despite the things I've seen, sanity still becomes me. God keeps me in check, so does Saturn, stern like a goat. I have no other choice but to choose the choice that will lead me to me. See, this love is also real. Thank you.
Next up, P. Eldridge, please. A warm welcome to her.
As I collect the paperback from my room, I slice my finger on a page. It falls to the floor. I press down on the blood with my tongue. I say, ouch. I begin to suck so much so that the blood fills my mouth and I swallow myself hard. Every damn time I think, girl, you taste so good. A moves into focus with the imprint of his body behind me. Are you okay? The symmetry of us is off tonight. I don't want him to be polite. I'm fine. The dozen roses he bought for me are set in a vase before me, idle in the water, and as he kisses my neck, I simmer to his touch. If he is able to drop the pleasantries, to dismiss my pains and bury his own into me, I will be sated. If not, I'll throw the roses on the street tomorrow. When A is above me, I look deeply into his eyes, not longing to be seen, but to be misunderstood, to be taken unseriously. I want him to say he doesn't love me, to take advantage of me by ravaging me, to remind me I'm young with the uncomfortable thrashing of sex that is not intimate but insatiable. He's painted perfectly to my skin, etched into the curvature of me. A fresco above the bed, a Baroque palette, a bow and arrow through a skull, a small figure covered in the lapana, a lie. I don't want to be preserved in this tryst of affection. I push him off me, I straddle him. I place his thumb in my mouth, biting it as I guide it to his lips. A purrs. We kiss. I get bored and drool my tongue into his neck, hearing him moan. It's here I think about how I will slowly maneuver myself down. A's hands are behind his head. I think, smack my ass or I'll die. I don't feel self-conscious in the way I usually would. A is a man I trust, a comfortable companion, though intellectually not as titillating as I'd usually devour. His masculinity is camp, the way he giggles when I tickle his ribs on occasion, walking down the street with his arms around me, always catches me by surprise. It reverberates around us, creating a bubble, our aura of carefree appeal to those onlooking. He's made me stronger, more resilient, yet not in a brutish way, which I'm thankful for. His repeated phrase to me is, "You could afford to be more of a diva." I think I'm beginning to agree. I bite A's nipple, which I know he hates, and I look up to his face, his mouth agape, eyes glaring at me. I know I'm blurred, and in the refuge of this camouflage, I smile wide. I take my time. I make myself comfortable by being less enthusiastic than usual, up until he is about to come. Then I stop, pretending something is stuck in my mouth, delicately lifting my head from him, brushing my hair back. He launches up to me, whispering, "Baby," into the hollow of my throat, begging to make me fertile. But right now, I cannot. A has become a sanctum of love, fueling me in creative ways beyond measure. I've often found myself walking down a busy street, fantasizing about how his mustache would ruffle in the breeze, how dreamy, sweet, tentative his responses are, how I adore his pauses after I have spoken, where I can see admiration glaze over his face, the slightly raised expressions his eyebrows make, showing me that the way I speak, hold myself, the way I wonder is lovable. Yet, I can't fathom A completely as my own, nor do I want to. When the many fragments of him I have been privy are so clearly yet to be unfolded. A is progress. My whole life is a process of a mutating past, present, and future that blurs into an ungodly figure. The edges of me, my desires, drastically shift from feather to fang. I've unintentionally put him through hell, drawing A into the many woes of womanhood, and he has remained. Because A deems me respectable, I want him to treat me otherwise. I've developed an unhealthy habit, this new feeling now of longing for men that make me feel unsafe, terrified, breakable. I recognize that this can be deemed destructive behavior, that I am not the saintly figure anyone so quickly assumes me to be, because the only feeling I have ever known and have had to find sanctuary within is terror itself. I want to be loved, and when love is in my grasp, I find ways of dismissing it. Humiliation is my womb. A refuses to offer that. Even in moments like this, where I provoke and tease and try to pull from him reason, logic, to feel the misandry of my feminism, to which I can become stuck. I do not loathe him or any man, really, though their formidable tendencies, accepted socially, are a burden I lay openly victim to. Once more, baby is breathily poured into my ear. Breathe with me for a bit, A offers. I know the routine. I take my hand and put it to his exposed, bony chest. I'm sat atop him, his legs stretched out across the bed, mine tucked around his chest behind him. My complexion is red. We're covered in midnight. Hands wrapped around me, the palms of him against my spine. I'm here with you. The way we have begun saying in a convoluted spiral that I understand your tribulations. I'm sorry, I retreat, or not me, an overcompensating me. The figure I once sought to be was told to be at the expense of a refined version of me that need not deprecate my own objection. I feel him inhale against my hand that funnels the complexities of his compassion into my own body. He delicately, without a word, understands the humor and insidiousness of me all at once. Fundamentally flawed, yet learning, performing desire that is so compressed and anxious in its pivoting between lust, temptation, risk, annihilation. Sometimes I fantasize about A degrading me, not violently, but thoughtlessly, like I am an afterthought, a gesture. Not because I want to be disposable, but because there is a quiet power in choosing to be discarded. It's the freedom of agency inverted. I want A to want me so badly he forgets who I am, who I've been, to shatter the illusion that I am singular. I want to feel like one of many, if only to prove to myself I can climb out of anonymity and into significance itself. Pleasure, then, a performance of loss. The comfort of the distance it creates from then to now. A never complies. He remains deliberate. His gaze is too careful, too drenched in reverence. He could exempt me, liberate me from the kind of madness and craving wreckage. That's what this all is, right? An amassed collection of previous objects of identification burning into obsolescence. It's in A's refusal, his mutability, his willingness to see my many variations that makes me writhe with shame and then rise from it. His touch is sacred, even as I create acts towards sacrilege. A says he's here, but I'm already somewhere else. Mouth parted, hunger unspoken, drowning in a past that won't let go. I nestle into him, not as surrender, but as strategy. A is not the end of me, just one more rhythm in the ache I call mine. Now, I think, ours. Usually I tremble. Speaking in front of an audience like this would fill me with the kind of fear that crawls under the skin, quiet, invisible, and suffocating. But these days, the world has stripped me of the right to be tentative. It no longer feels that I have the choice to withhold parts of myself because the very act of being who I am has become dangerous. Because every single day, I am demoralized for choosing to live truthfully, and so, over time, I have grown a thick layer, a kind of storm cloud I carry, made of resilience. I wish everyone could understand what resilience offers, the way it keeps your spine straight when your spirit is buckling. I wish everyone could feel the dignity it gives you when everything else is trying to take your humanity away. And yet, I hope with all of my heart that none of you ever have to know what it costs. Because resilience is not just strength, it's a burden. It's a weight carried in silence with no promise that it will ever get lighter. Trans people are being eradicated, erased from policy, from culture, from safety, from recognition. I am afraid every single day, but I cannot act afraid. Instead, I stand here in this moment, beneath your gaze, performing a version of composure for the sake of an afternoon of culture. And perhaps that is why this hurts. Because even now, I feel the pressure to be palatable. But when I leave here, I will not feel triumphant. I will walk out the door with my head lowered, not from shame of who I am, but from fear of what the world keeps doing to people like me. I will walk through streets scanning shadows, carrying an invisible hypervigilance that never seems to leave my body. And when I reach home, my home, which is currently fraying at the edges like my sense of peace, I will collapse into myself. I will dissolve into exhaustion that no sleep can fix. This is not accidental. This targeting, this scapegoating, it is by design. Trans people threaten the illusion of fixedness. We show with our lives that gender is not a prison, that identity is not a sentence, that there is beauty in becoming, and that freedom, that real kind, terrifies those who benefit from control. We are punished not for deceiving, but for revealing that everyone chooses who they are, and we are just more honest about it. We are the dreamers of freer worlds, and for that, they attack us. I've never felt more torn apart than I do right now. I've never felt so raw, so lonely, so deeply wrecked, and still I remain, somehow, to stay, to continue, to bear witness to this violence and still speak is not because I am strong. It is because I don't know what else to do with the love that I have for my trans siblings. It is because I believe, still, that there is a better world possible, and we are trying to survive long enough to see it. But we cannot survive alone. We need you, not just your applause, not just your agreement. We need your action. We need your courage. We need you to carry some of this with us while we tend to the wounds that no longer have time to heal before new ones emerge. I am done pretending. I am done editing my grief, my rage, my fragility into something more consumable. I am trying to be free, but my freedom is being compromised daily. So, if our struggle has not reshaped your soul, if it has not awakened something tender or broken something callous, then don't mourn me. Mourn the death of your own heart. Because transphobia is fascism, and no one survives fascism untouched. Thank you.